Hello, hello. Welcome. This is Ben in New York City coming to you with oh gosh, I always forget which part it is. I think this is part 8 now. Anyways, this is going to be page 7. I keep all of my cards here. So this is kind of going down to be a much simpler page than my last one. So it's good because these tutorials can take a long time to kind of get together because I like to have all this stuff pre-cut, and I also generally when I'm working when I'm not taping for a tutorial, I kind of just make everything up as I go, and on the tutorial I like to just be a little bit more planned out, or else you would just watch me for an hour kind of just guessing on stuff. So I do make these sketches, though, as I go, so it's very close to my process, but I do like to have everything figured out by the time I start recording. So this one just took a lot less time than the last one. The last one was just took longer. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks great. So this is page 7, bonus pocket. I say a la Corene, because Corene at Corene's Creations does this. This is where I learned this technique, and basically it adds what I like to call a bonus pocket. So every page, once we put it into our hinges, is going to have this sort of like large photo mat pocket that we will stick a large photo mat into at the end. However, I like to add an extra one. So basically, here, I'll show you after I show you the paper. So you can see here, much simpler. We just need a few different pieces of paper. Cardstock, we need one sheet of cardstock at 8 by 8, which is the entire size of our page pocket, so it's covering the whole face. And then we're going to need one flap at 8 by 3.5. Then for deco paper, we'll need one piece at 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. And then we'll need two, that says 7 7/2. But let me correct that right now, because I'm just like that. We're going to need them at 2 7/8 or 7 7/8 by 2 7/8 for the flap. Now, you might need less on the flap if you use a decorative edge punch. So I just encourage you to not cut these until you know what you're doing with the flap itself. I'm just using the ticket corner, so I can just cut it full size and then basically subtract 1/8, except there is a score line on this one that I'll show you. But basically subtract 1/8, so I've got that 1/16 inch border that I like. And then we're going to need 2 magnets. So basically, here's my base page, which remember you want to keep the openings out to the side. Basically, we're going to cover this entire thing like this, right? Except we're only going to glue down the 2 tops and the left side. So basically, this just makes one big sort of on-page pocket here. And we're going to also glue this flap. This is the 8 by 3.5 inch piece. I feel like the lighting is not enough. This will be better. The 8 and by 3.5 inch piece, we're going to, I think you can see, score at 1/2 inch on the short side. So again, when I say score on the short side, I mean line the short side up in your scoring score pal or whatever you use, and score on the short side. So 1/2 inch basically makes a little flap. I cut off the edges, makes this flap, and what we're going to do with this flap is essentially in our page pocket, glue it to the inside, so we get this flap here that will close over our pocket and secure this page very well. Okay, so while I'm thinking about it, I'm also going to put an X right here and an X right here, because I will be putting magnets there, and that's how I remember to not put the pattern paper down too early. So first, let's go ahead and do the flap first. You know, I feel like I get my favorite glue unclogged finally, and then when I go to make my video, it somehow gets clogged again. Let me just try really quickly. to unclog it. There we go. I think that worked. Well, maybe not. Not really. Okay, I'll just have to use this other glue then. So, what we're gonna do here is just put one little... Oh, is this clogged too? Come on, Ben. There we go. What we're gonna do is just put one line of glue right there on that little tab, and basically then open up the side of the pocket, and we are just gonna glue it right under that flap. See? So that's what we're left with. You don't want to glue it too far in. You kind of want to leave the crease on this, the score line, just a tiny bit on the outside, because you want that to be able to fold over. You can also, when you score this, you could score at 3/8 and 1/2, and that gives you a tiny little 1/8 inch like section down here to give you more room to fold it over, but I am not going to do that because I think this is fine. Okay. Right, and that folds cleanly. You also want to check that when you close it, that these two lines are flush with the top of the page. So that's good. Okay. Now we're going to come and place this whole pocket down. And again, we're going to have glue on this top, the left side, and the bottom. And we're going to leave the right side open. Okay. So, again, just a line of glue. Now, if you like dry adhesives, you could just use score tape for this. I wouldn't use ATG because you want this to stick really well. I think the ATG is just not quite strong enough. Okay, so we're just gonna stick that down. And the last time I stuck something like this down in a video, it was wrong and I had to pull it up. But I am confident that I'm doing it in the right order this time, because this page is much simpler. Okay. Good deal. Let me just make sure I've cut all my excess glue. Yeah, okay. So now what we're left with is we have the open pocket on the side for our photo mat at the end. Then we have this flip that lifts open to just show another pocket. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is magnet placement. Let me pull out a couple of magnets. I showed them last time. I get these on Amazon. I forget how much they were, but they were not very much. I think it was 50 of them for like $5. Basic gray magnets are very good, but they are very expensive. Now they are pre-adhesive. They have adhesive already on them, so that's an advantage. It makes it a little easier to use, but I would rather just pay less and adhere it myself. Okay, so I'm gonna use my really fancy method of magnet placement, which if you saw the last video you saw, but I'm gonna do it again just for fun. I'm gonna take a small piece of 1/2 inch score tape and I want to put it right about here. I want the magnet far in enough to where it's not going to make the edge of the paper kind of buckle up weirdly, but I want it far enough towards the edge that it's going to close it at the edge. Does that make sense? I don't want to put it all the way in the middle because then that leaves too much on the end that could come up. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to burnish that score tape down. Pull up the backing. And then just put down the magnet on the score tape. So I've got that. Next step is to cover that. Yeah, I want this piece to go on the inside. Okay, and this again, it's just from the next piece of the collection. So, kind of keeping with my, like, I pick papers by how they come in the collection. So this, I've just done the ticket corner punch and inked the edges with Tim Holtz Walnut Stain Distress ink. Okay, so we've got that. Now it comes time for my super weird placement method. So I'm just gonna kind of drop the magnet down. It snaps exactly where it needs to go. I'm gonna take my white pigment ink, dab a little bit on the magnet, fold it closed, press it down. It's gonna leave a mark exactly where I need that magnet to be. And then I'm also going to just wipe the pigment ink off that magnet. I think I failed to show that last time, but you need to do that, or when we go back to put the magnet down, it's not gonna stick because of the pigment ink. So here we go. Then take another little piece of score tape and put it over that mark that the pigment ink left. Burnish that down. Okay. Take that up, fold it, push it firmly but not too hard, right? And then just, there we go. It's stuck down in the exact right place. So now I can cover this page. It's got this pretty script. There's actually some, I think, some Cyrillic characters on there, so that's cool. And again, for just gluing flat paper down, no real construction involved, I like to use my ATG. And actually, I believe I just used the last of what was in there. And I think that's not quite right. So I talk about wet glue being a little bit forgiving, but you know what? ATG is a little forgiving too. Oh man, this is not working out great. I wonder if I cut this wonky. I feel like my paper trimmer, it's just not cutting perfect squares anymore. I don't know. I'm a little paranoid about it, but there we go. We got that down. Again, this is just distressed with the walnut stain. And now I close this. Boom, magnet closure. The only thing I have left to do now is pop this on there. This is from the same page as this. It's just on the bottom of the page it had this, and this is raised too with this journey. So I've cut this off because I want to use the, you know, the cute little part that says journey. If you're doing a top loading pocket, it would be even cooler, right? Because the word would be the right way up, but you know, you still get it, right? Okay, so let's just glue that down. And let me find, I've got this small runner over here that I'm just going to use for now. Because as fascinating as it is, I don't think you all want to watch me reload my ATG. Okay. So there we go. Just going to pop this down. Great. Okay. So that's it. That's that page. Now, obviously, I'm probably at some point going to place some things over here in terms of embellishments. You know, a lot of times what you can do is take one of your little cut-aparts, pop it in the corner, only adhere it down here, and then take an even bigger card and stick it in here. So I'll probably do that at some point, but focusing on page construction right now. So that's it, right? It's really simple. yet it's very functional. And the reason I like this is because it gives you this like protected pocket in here. So if you had ticket stubs or brochures or maybe something that was a little bulkier and you didn't want to risk it falling out of one of the open pockets on your album, this is a great place to put it because it really just kind of locks it in there. I could do more on this page. I could have flip outs. I could have other things. I'm not going to because I just want to point out the simplicity of having that, what I call the bonus pocket, and the functionality of it. I like to put at least one on every album I do. I think I pretty much do that. I can't really remember one where I haven't done it, but maybe I haven't at some point. But yeah, that's it. Really simple. The next page will be page 9, and that will be the last because I'm only going to do 5 page pockets for this mini album. So, and then we get to binding and the cover. So that's kind of a big thing, and there's so many different ways, and I'm kind of like wondering what I'm going to do myself on this. But I already know which binding method I'm going to do. I just have to figure out like the style of cover that I'm going to do. So yeah, that's it. I will hopefully see you very soon. Happy crafting, everybody. If you have any questions, remember, just ask them. I read every single comment. I like every single comment that you put in there. And if you ever have questions, I always answer them. So feel free. Happy crafting, and I will see you very soon. Bye.